All right, so today I feel this need to rant about tariffs because I feel like people don't really get what's going on, and and it's really bothering me. So a tariff basically is a tax on goods coming in from another country, right? And he's saying that China is paying this tax. This is not true today. Um, Today, when the bill for the tariff comes, when I bring something into the country, I am paying this bill. Nobody else is paying it. But in order to pay this bill, I have to raise my prices, right? Because this is a new bill. And this bill is an expensive bill. It's it's also, as a result of me raising my prices, it's also contributing to inflation. Um, it's going to change production dynamics for me, meaning I now have to look, and well, I have looked for other sources or for production, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and how I am 100% sure, as I've seen it happening already, that the quality of the goods that are coming in now from Chinese manufacturers that are skipping over people like me, thanks to these global warehouses that were started by eBay and Amazon, the quality is going down, and in some cases, it's dangerous. So again, a tariff is a tax on an imported good. It's intended to help make not local, but domestic producers more competitive against foreign producers. Now, the problem is that if this came into effect 25 years ago when I was producing stuff in the United States, that would have been awesome, right? But there is no more production. I junked my silvering line and all my machinery that I used to use to make this stuff because I didn't have to do it anymore. Well, to be honest, they had already put me out of business. So 25 years ago, I used to produce stuff in America, and I had over 25 people working for me. I had a silvering line here, I had a beveling machine, I had, excuse me, a silk screening line. I mean, I had like a major production here. And they put me out of business within 6 months of me making a new design. They would knock it off, and it would be on the market for half the price of what I was selling it for. So they put me out of business, and if you can't beat them, join them. I hopped on a plane and I went to China and I started buying stuff there. I laid off about over 20 people. I had a small skeleton crew, and I started back up again. And yeah, my production costs went down drastically. I mean, there was zero. My overhead was down about 90%. I was able to reduce prices, and I had beautiful designs that I could bring to you for significantly lower prices. So, so yeah. So if tariffs were here 25 years ago, that would have been awesome. But today we're in a situation where prices are going up, and those supposed long-term benefits are not showing up yet, right? So we're in a situation where we have higher costs today with no immediate payoff, right? I can't bring back those machines. They're gone. They're in a landfill somewhere, or the metal's recycled somewhere, hopefully. But I can't start producing here. It's just not possible. It's going to take millions of dollars. And do I really want to make that commitment with what's going on in the market with eBay and Amazon's global warehouses? So again, let's go back. Now I get this bill from Customs and Border Protection. This bill has to get paid. So what happens? I have to add on a couple dollars to every product, and guess what? If I'm adding a couple dollars on, well, then the retailer like eBay or Amazon or Lowe's or Home Depot or Wayfair or Overstock, they have to add a couple dollars onto theirs. Usually it's about, if I'm going to raise them by $3, they're going to raise the price by $6. That's just the way that, the economics of this business work. So at the end of the day, you are now paying a higher price for something that, if it's in my case, you're going to be paying. I'm not adding any additional features or safety or anything. I mean, this is just a straight up tax on me today. Okay? I don't care what Trump is saying. Yes, China will pay for it. In the future, yes, that's true. But today, it's a tax on me, the person who's bringing the product from overseas, and it's a higher cost for you. What does that mean? That's artificial inflation. And there's no way of talking your way around this for today. All right, so when this started, I looked for other places to produce goods, okay? And I looked at the top producers from in this class in the bathroom. Well, it's actually unframed mirror category. And what I found was that China was producing $8.4 billion a year in this class of good. Number two was Germany with 300 million. And 3, 4, and 5 was India, Vietnam, and somebody else. I don't remember who. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but I remember that all three of them combined was not even half of what Germany was. So when I tried to go to other places for production, they didn't have the capacity or the infrastructure to supply me, right? I'm not the biggest guy out there, not by far. So, when I went to Vietnam, they had no room for me. Some of the big guys went over to Vietnam and took up 100% of their capacity. And it takes time to grow capacity. And it takes a lot of investment to grow capacity. So, they were not doing it. And they still, to be honest, are not. I guess they're scared to do it. But, yeah. So going somewhere else, which is what Trump wanted, was just not possible. However, what I was able to do, because the cost of shipping got so high, I started a packaging center in America. So I was able to remove, I used to ship everything here already prepackaged. Now I just shipped the product here and I started packing the stuff here because the cost of a shipment went up from $2,400 to $27,000. So it made sense for me to pack as much into that container as possible and then package the stuff here. I was wasting a lot of space for air, literally air, because I would fit 1,000 pieces in a container in a 40-foot IQ. And then I was able to get almost 3,000. So financially, it just made sense. So in that respect, yes, you know what? It did help our economy because I started packing things here. But now that prices went down for shipping containers, it doesn't make sense for me to pack the stuff up here anymore. I still am doing it because of how slow we are. So in an effort not to lay off any more people, I'm making a little bit less money and I'm keeping a couple of guys. But yeah, it's just bad all around. So because sales are down, right? Or maybe as a result of sales being down, or the two are happening at the same time. I'm assuming, I'm not sure. Um, well, now what's happening is eBay and Amazon, along with the high prices, high prices is less sales, unless it's an inelastic good, which means it's something that you must have, right? So, like milk and eggs, you have no choice. You're going to keep buying them uh, as long as the price goes up. I mean, the price can go up quite a bit and there'll still be purchases. But if the cost of a mirror goes up by 7 times, you're just not going to buy that mirror. You don't need it. Um, well, the Chinese manufacturers are now, with the help of eBay and Amazon, doing these global warehouses, and they are selling directly to the end consumers. So they've created a system for the factories over there to sell directly over here. So by doing that, you're losing out the service that we provided. Number one was quality control, right? So um, when we would make a mirror, we would ask for certain things that cost a little bit more, right? So there is a protective layer on the back of a mirror that keeps it from oxidizing. You see like the brown stuff on the edge of the mirror. Well, so we would pay a little bit more and get some stuff done so that that would happen less. The chance of that happening would be drastically decreased, right? I'm looking at the stuff that's coming in now and it's not there. They're not doing it. There's no need for them to do it. They don't care because you know what? If you look at the name of these producers, it's like a bunch of capital letters and they just make a company, then make another company, then make another company. They're not in it for the long haul. They don't care about the loyalty. They don't care about their name. They're just change the name and do it again because it's strictly about the price. The other thing is that we would put for certain products a shatterproofing material so that if a mirror was damaged, it would not break up into 1,000 pieces and fall all over the place, potentially injuring a kid, a pet, someone who was cleaning it, right? This does not exist. So they are cutting corners and selling directly to the end consumer because I had to raise my price to a point that, customers didn't want to pay anymore. So, so yeah, you know what? Now that makes Trump correct, right? So Trump says, yeah, China's going to pay for it. Well, okay, yeah, now they're paying for it, but the Americans who were in the production business, who were flying to China, who were setting standards for the factory and quality control standards, safety standards, making sure that the product is in the United States, in stock, ready to ship, in good quality, in good amount, in a short amount of time. Well, there's no more need for them anymore, right? So there's no more need for somebody like me because the Chinese factory, with the help of eBay and Amazon, get to the United States and eBay and Amazon are doing half of my job for the manufacturers. And they're able to sell at the price that I was selling at before because the 25% that they're paying in the tariff, now they don't have to. Well, sorry. That was my 25% that I needed, they don't need, right? So they're doing it direct. Well, this video is going way too long. All right, let me try and sum it up real quick. Now, I cared about having a good reputation, right? These companies don't care. So what Amazon and eBay do is these companies set up an LLC in the United States, right? And God forbid something does happen. Well, who's going to get sued, right? Who's going to pay for the damage to, you or your home or your whatever. Well, not eBay and Amazon, because they're helping these guys set up an LLC in the United States. Now, that LLC has no assets, is just there to keep the insurance costs down for the end seller, right? Because what matters is when something happens, who do they sue? They sue the last guy who sold it, right? The last guy who owned it and touched it, right? He's the one who's responsible. So the importer of record is not Amazon, right? The importer is, how you see all capital letters. It's like GLAANY. And those are the people who have an LLC just so that the seller, the retailer is not going to be responsible for anything that happens to you when the product, causes a fire or, breaks, in 12 months in a day, right? So the quality is just not there. And they figured this is the best way to protect themselves while keeping the prices low. So after leaving you with like zero legal options, what's next? I think that Trump didn't realize and went too hard too fast. What he did is right and it's good in the long run. But in the short run, you know what? He said that China's paying for it. Well, you know what? When they put all the guys like me out of business, what's going to happen? Yeah, only the Chinese manufacturers are going to be selling it directly to the U.S. end consumer, and China will be paying for it. Yes, they will be, 100%. But at the same time, there's going to be a bunch of guys like me that are out of business, and the people that were selling to China, most importantly, the farmers, are now going to need to find either another customer for those goods, and you're losing out on 1.6 billion people. That's a lot of people. So I don't know where they're going to be selling these goods now. And yeah, I mean, it seems like I have to look back into the subsidies, but I'm pretty sure that these farmers losing that much business, especially now, they're going to lose a ton more. I don't know what they're going to do. Listen, I know what's going to happen. Trump is going to take some of that tariff money and support the farmers with it. But yeah, at the end of the day, what this accomplishes, the way they're going about it, is they're going to put all the intermediaries out of business. The Chinese factories are going to sell goods to the U.S. end consumer for a very, very low price with subpar quality and no legal remedies if, God forbid, something happens. So, yeah, that's my rant. If you have any questions, if you made it this far, put it in the comments.